I clear?
All right, remote, you're live.
I'll go.
Princeton Tiger Playoff Football is on the air. Tonight from Bryant Field on the campus of Princeton High School, it's the 9-0 Princeton Tigers hosting the 5-4 Peotone Blue Devils. We want to thank our sponsors of Tiger Football on Tiger Central Live, and they include Midland Bank, Princeton Redi-Mix, Becks, Michlig Energy, and Central Bank. They've been with us all season long, and we're more than willing to join us for playoff football tonight. Also a big thanks to the Princeton Public Schools Foundation. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we want to welcome the fans of Peotone High School to our broadcast as well, and also fans all across this great land as we await this exciting playoff action. I'm Norm Vandermoon, joined by Princeton High School basketball coach Jason Smith and Princeton High School social studies teacher Brody Anderson. Steve Morton, Princeton's technology advisor, is our producer director, and Steve Gray, an outstanding cameraman who, by the way, brought you that overhead shot of the band on Central Street from atop Prouty Gym. So great job, Steve. We also want to thank our student helpers, Austin Gordon and Cail Piper, and also a member of our production crew tonight, on loan from Marquee Sports, PHS alum Cail Arnett, as our crew is all set to capture these high school football headlines as they are being made. Well, Week 9 determined whether some teams actually made the playoffs. And Brody, you've got a recap of the Week 9 scores.
That's right, Norm. Hey, it's glad to be back here for some playoff action at Princeton High School. So our Week 9 scores. Princeton, of course, won last week 48-0 at Monmouth Roseville. Hall upset Bureau Valley 44-33. Kewanee over Newman 10-7. St. Bede 39 over Mendota with 20. Morrison 25, EP 14. Now this was Morrison's third straight win, gets them in the playoffs at a record of 5-4. The loss by EP eliminates them from playoffs as they finish 4-5. Additionally, in other scores, Rock Ridge 49, Orion 18, Ottawa Marquette 40, Sherrard 7. Bigsville West Central, this was an amazing game, 68 over Amboy Lamoille with 30. Stark County 49, Princeville 12. Mercer County wins in a blowout last week, 43-0 over the Anawan Weathersfield Titans. Maple Park Canelan 28 over LP with 7. Dixon 49 over Rock Falls 0. And lastly, in Week's 9 scores, Chillicothe IVC 52 over Rantoul with 6. Now, Norm, we have a bunch of exciting games all over the state tonight. We'll start with some 1A games going on. We have Chicago Richards 5-4 at Lena Winslow 9-0. Now, that's a Saturday game at 2 o'clock. In a really exciting game that I expect to see a lot of good offense in. Stark County is playing Rova. Both teams are 5-4, and they're playing at 7 o'clock tonight down at Rova. Aurora Christian 5-4 at Fulton 7-2. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock game. Rockford Lutheran 5-4 at Anawan Weathersfield 7-2. That's a Saturday game. Forston 5-4 at St. Bede 7-2. That's another Saturday game. And lastly, Morrison 5-4 at Ottawa Marquette, who's 8-1. That's a Saturday game at 1 o'clock. In 2A ball, El Paso 7-2 at Farmington, who's also 7-2, Saturday at 3 o'clock. Newman 5-4 at Rock Ridge 8-1. That's another Saturday game. Bloomington Central Catholic, who's 6-3 at Mercer County, who's 7-2. That's a Saturday game. In 3A ball, we have our game right here, Peotone, who's 5-4 at Princeton, who's 9-0. Elmwood Brimfield 6-3 at Genoa Kingston 7-2. That's going to be a really good game, I have a feeling. The Chicago Kings 5-4 at Elmhurst IVC Catholic, who's 8-1. That's another Friday night game. Monmouth Roseville 5-4 at Stillman Valley 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Winnebago 5-4 at Seneca 9-0. Lyle at Byron. That's another Friday night game tonight. Paxton Buckley Loda 5-4 at Fairbury Prairie Central 9-0. That's a Friday night game. Additionally, in 4A ball, Dixon, who's 6-3, is going to be at the Rochelle Hubs, who's 7-2. Geneseo, who's 5-4, is playing at Cartersville, who's 9-0. Now, Norm, this is amazing. The mile difference between Geneseo and Carterville is 318 miles. Carterville's all the way down in the southern part of Illinois. What a drive.
I think I'd be bartering for a charter flight.
That's about right. Also, in 4A ball, we have Hall, who's 5-4, is at Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, who's 9-0. That game's tonight. Hopefully we'll get some score action from here in a little bit. Quincy, Notre Dame, 5-4 at Macomb, who's 9-0, Saturday at 7 o'clock. In 5A ball, Chicago Westinghouse, who's 5-4, is at Sycamore, who's 9-0. That's a Saturday night game. Ottawa, who's 5-4, is at Momet Seymour, who's 9-0. That's another Friday night game. LP, who's 5-4, is at Morris, who's 7-2. That's a Friday night game. Here's another big drive here. Dunlap, who's 5-4, is playing at Highland, who's 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Now that's 167 miles, not quite 318 miles that Geneseo has to drive, but still
pretty far.
A massive distance between the two. Highland is, by the way, by St. Louis. Decatur MacArthur, who's 5-4, is at Peoria, and that's a Saturday game at 1 o'clock. In 6A ball, Washington, who's 6-3, is at Middleth, who's 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Danville, 6-3, is at Normal West, who's 8-1. And then in 7A ball, we have DeKalb, who's 6-3, is at Moline, 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Plainfield Central, who's 5-4, is at Pekin. That's a 9-0. That's a Friday night game. And lastly, Normal Community, who's 6-3, is at Rockton, who's 7-2. That's another Friday night game. A lot of great games all around the state tonight, Norm, and I'm excited to see the scores roll in tonight as we broadcast, and I'm excited to see where we go as we press through postseason play.
Yeah, great job, Brody. And if you missed any of them, we won't have many scores because we start at 6 and all the other games that run Friday night are at 7. Mm-hmm. But Brody will 1, 2, 3 at a time or whatever during the first half. We'll be going over them again. Mm-hmm. So we are going to bring in Jason Smith. And just a little background on Peotone. Peotone, Illinois is 102 miles east of Princeton. It is located 18 miles north of Kankakee in Will County. The population of Peotone is 4,200, and Peotone's name was derived from the Potawatomi language meaning "come here." The city motto is "a nice place to live." As far as a little background on Peotone, as we mentioned, they come in 5-4. They are coached by Apostolos Chamas. Their enrollment is 472. They opened the season by beating Rantoul 48-16. They beat Ellettsville, Indiana 26-25 and beat Mantino 28-13. Then they lost 2 in a row, 13-28 against Wilmington. They lost 41-0 to Reed Custer, who's undefeated. A big win for them was over Streeter, 53-42. They lost to the Coal City Coalers, 28-14. Beat Herscher 54-19 and lost to Lyle 20-13. On the season, Peotone has scored 249 points, an average of 28 a game. They've given up 232, which is an average of 26. They're members of the Illinois Central 8 Conference. The last time these two played was in 2003 in a playoff game, and Peotone beat Princeton 20-14. Some of the names for Peotone: Dylan Soroka running 119 times, 736 yards, 13 touchdowns. Dawson Piper, 146 attempts, 554 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Chase Rivera, 106 attempts, 533 yards, 9 touchdowns. Passing, they don't do much of it. James Kuipers all season long, 35 of 77 for 395 yards. And Schmitty, you're here, and you've got some information on the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers, who's coached by Ryan Pearson, 9-0, all-time winning coach for the Tigers, by the way, enrolled with 546 students. In week 1, beat Rock Ridge 41-22 after a slow start, came on strong in the second half. Beat Orion 60-20, then started rolling against Hall 55-20, 70-21 in week 4 against Mendota. Kewanee was 56-7. Beat Newman at Newman 37-0. Came home against a big game against St. Bede, undefeated, and beat them 56-7. Beat Bureau Valley 48-0, and then Monmouth Roseville repeat at 48-0. Scored 441 points on the year and given up 97 points. That's a 49-point average for Princeton, 11 points against Princeton. So nice job by the Tigers defense. Leading the way for the Tigers is Tegan Davis. He had 1,228 yards passing with 15 touchdowns. And here's the most impressive stat, 0 interceptions. Rushing the ball, Augie Christensen leading the way with 805 yards on 66 carries, an average of 12 yards per carry with 15 touchdowns. Tegan Davis, 678 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. And then C.J. Hickey, 61 carries for 440 yards, an average of 7.2 with 9 touchdowns. Norm, it's going to be a good game tonight. Can't wait to get this thing going.
Yeah, the band will be coming on the field here very shortly, but one of the things I wanted to ask you, I've had a lot of people ask me about a potential letdown by the Tigers after going 9-0. Do you see that happening?
No, I mean, I talked to the guys on the team and the coaching staff, and, that's not even been a focal point of interest here. They know what they have to do. They know where they want to go, and if they want to get where they want to go, it has to start with opening night of the playoffs and showing what they're capable of. Peotone comes in. They rush the ball quite a bit, as you saw their rushing yards there. They're a 3-yard and cloud of dust kind of team. So if the Tigers can hold them to 2nd and long, 3rd and long, they're doing their job and putting Peotone in a situation they don't want to be in.
All right, well, good job, Schmitty, and we're going to turn things over to the band and the pregame festivities. Glad you said.
To welcome our visitors from Peotone High School. Tiger fans, on your feet. Show your blue and white pride as the PHS band plays Princeton Loyalty in our fight song, Let's Win This Game.
since you found me. On the roof. Don't jump. Don't jump. Well, I just want him to
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand, remove your hats as the band, under the direction of Mr. Stephen Olson, honors America with our national anthem. The officials for tonight's game: back judge David Bowers, head linesman Jay McDaniels, referee Dave Herlihy, line judge Bill McDaniels, and the umpire Pat McDaniels.
And we're back here at Bryant Field, just moments away from kickoff, about 3 minutes and change. And Schmitty, earlier Brody went over all the playoffs and involving regional teams. But let's talk a little bit about these 3A playoffs, and please lend any comments that you might have.
So, of course, you got Peotone tonight, 5-4 against our Princeton Tigers, here is 9-0. Elmwood Brimfield against Genoa Kingston. The winner will play the winner of this game here. And how that works is if Genoa Kingston wins and Princeton wins, we'll have another home playoff game next week, folks. So keep that in mind. If Elmwood Brimfield wins and Princeton wins, then Princeton will be on the road to Elmwood Brimfield. Chicago King, who's 5-4 against Elmhurst IC Catholic, who's 8-1. Monmouth Roseville, 5-4 at Stillman Valley, who's 8-1. I'm looking for the second round matchup there between IC Catholic and Stillman Valley. That should be a really good game to watch. Winnebago 5-4 at Seneca, who's 9-0. Lyle 5-4 at Byron, 8-1. And then Paxton Buckley Loda 5-4 against Fairbury Prairie Central, is 9-0. All those games are on tonight, Norm, with the exception of, I think, the Elmwood Brimfield game at Genoa Kingston. I think that's tomorrow at 1 as well. So all the games except for the one game is all playing tonight. So we can kind of stay tuned and see what's going to happen as this bracket unfolds here in the Class 3A playoffs.
And you know, Schmitty, I don't know about you, but I look at these games and Elmwood Brimfield and Genoa Kingston, 6-3 for Elmwood Brimfield, 7-2 for Genoa Kingston. But I think we have the potential for a lot of blowouts.
Yeah,
this,
I agree. I think
round.
Even the Genoa Kingston game, they just came away with a big win, I believe, against Stillman Valley, gave them their only loss, and so that really juggled the bracket per se. I think IC Catholic was projected to go in the lower bracket. Instead, Stillman Valley is supposed to be in the upper bracket, but instead Stillman Valley loses to Genoa Kingston and moves Genoa Kingston in the upper bracket as well. So kind of flip-flopped everything, but I agree with you. I think there's going to be a lot of potential blowouts. There might be a few upsets out there, but maybe not in this class, as I can see in the top half of this bracket anyways.
All right. Well, Brody, throughout the night, since we won't have any scores till probably a quarter after 7 at the earliest, he'll be refreshing us on those playoff games. Brandon Crawford from the PHS Music Department will be Brody's halftime guest. And I know you've got a happy birthday you wanted to get out there.
Yeah, Mr. Mac Williams, he's watching from Annapolis. He's such a great kid. Had Mac in basketball. He was a football kid. Cross country kid, and a basketball kid. And Princeton alumni. He's in the Navy. He's in Annapolis, and we wish him all the best of luck and happy birthday, Big Mac.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Chase Rivera all set to kick it off for the Peotone Blue Devils. The Tigers are in the all blue uniforms. And the kick is away and fielded. Fumbled momentarily at the 15. Here's the return. And it is out to about the 27-yard line. On the return for the Tigers, Ace Christensen.
So let's see what the Blue Devils has to offer as far as defensive-wise against this potent Princeton Tiger offense. I think, keys to the game is going to be watching that up front line again. The front line from the Tigers is very, very good. And let's see if the defensive line can match the offensive line of the Tigers.
Peotone has given up 26 points per game. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And the handoff goes to Augie Christensen. He gets around the corner and is very close to a first down. In fact, it looks like the chain gang is going to proceed down the field, and just a remarkable season for Augie Christensen, Schmitty.
Yeah, absolutely. Augie, 66 carries, 805 yards, 12.0 average with the 15 touchdowns, Norm. Just incredible.
Take that any day. All right, Teagan in the shotgun. Looks like 4-man front for Peotone. And once again, it's Christensen on the carry, and good yardage on first down as he gets out to about the 47-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, that's a nice job by the offensive line again, just blocking their way up front, and Augie finding that crease, gaining 8 yards in the play, bring down 2nd down and 2 for the Tigers.
Tigers going no huddle this time. Davis going under center, I formation backfield. And the handoff goes to the 2nd man through. It's going to be close to a first down. And that's Augie on the carry. And the chain gang is moving on. So it's been all Augie Christensen here in the early going.
And why not when you got 3 carries for 23 yards, 8 yards a carry, it's working.
Now Teagan back to throw, fires away, going deep, and this one is reeled in, but apparently out of bounds, as hauling that one in was Noah Laporte.
Yeah, I think Teagan just led him a little bit too long on the sidelines there, and Noah corralled it in, but just couldn't get his 1 foot in the bounds.
2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. So once again, Davis going under center, I formation backfield. 2 receivers wide to the right. Now Saihaki goes in motion. And this is Augie Christensen. Penalty flag on the play, so where it was thrown at, Schmitty, probably going to go against the Tigers.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably going to be a holding call.
And then you start feeling like you're going to get 2 times.
It will be holding against the Tigers. Brody, you want to give us a playoff update of perhaps a couple 1A games?
Sure, Norm. So I'm excited tonight to watch the Stark County game. Who are both 5-4 against Rova. That's a Friday night game. Another game I'm really excited for local ball is going to be tomorrow. Rockford Lutheran at Anawan Weathersfield, who's 7-2. And lastly, in 1A ball locally, you have Forston, who's 5-4 at St. Bede's 7-2. Back to the game, Norm.
All right, thanks very much, Brody. Tigers facing second down and a long way to go. Davis fires away, and he's got a man, and getting the catch is Brady Byers for the first down.
The 28-yard reception there from Teagan to Brady. As you see the instant replay here, Byers just going down the seam. Teagan hit him right on the numbers, and Byers doing a nice job of grabbing that ball and getting a first down for the Tigers.
Now Peotone jumps. No flag, though, from the official. First and 10 Tigers. And Davis is going to call his own number. Tries to get away from a man. He's still on his feet. Manages to surge forward for about 3 or 4 before he's finally brought down.
Yeah, that's a good single effort by Teagan Davis, who got hit right about after gaining about a yard. Gets his feet together and just puts his head down and gains about 2 or 3 more yards in the play to bring it down, second down and 7 for the Tigers.
Obviously 4-down territory for Princeton. Hickey in motion. Hickey gets the handoff, and he's pursuing ahead. He's going to be very close to a first down. Brought down by Dylan Soroka of Peotone.
Yeah, that's a first down, Norm. That's a nice job by the offensive line, making that surge, creating a hole for C.J. Hickey to get through, and he gains about 7 yards in the play to make a first down and 10 for the Tigers.
Now it's Augie Christensen with the pitch. Augie's still on his feet. He's to the 10. Cuts inside, and it is a touchdown. Touchdown, Princeton Tigers. Augie Christensen from 25 yards out at the 8:57 mark.
Wow, what a run by Augie. But no, more importantly, look at the hole that's created by the offensive line for the Tigers. Augie, I mean, he was led by 3 guys who didn't even get touched before he got like 5-10 yards ahead. Lead blocking for him, and then he stops on a dime. We call that breaking ankles in basketball, Norm, and he scampers in from 5 yards from there.
And it's not going to be Carlos Benavidez kicking. It is Lott trying to get the 2-pointer. Does he get it? No, he comes up just short. That appeared to be, Schmitty, by design. Did you think so? Or?
Yeah, I thought it was a fake. That was a fake to Williams. It was a design pass. Williams saw he didn't have a person to throw it to. He tucked it and ran, almost got the 2-point conversion. 6-0 Tigers with 8:57 to go in this first quarter.
All right, Brody, if you're all set, you want to give us some more playoff games.
So in 2A, we have Newman, who's 5-4 at Rockridge, 8-1. That's tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Bloomington Central Catholic, who's 6-3, is at Mercer County, 7-2. That's Saturday at 2 o'clock. El Paso at Farmington. They're both 7-2 teams, and that game is tomorrow at Farmington, Saturday at 3 o'clock. A lot of great games going on this weekend, Norm.
And Schmitty, your thoughts on that opening drive by the Tigers?
I think it was just what the doctor ordered. I mean, they faced some adversity with that holding penalty, came back and nailed a 28-yard pass to Brady Byers, and then it was just rolling from there. I mean, Augie's already got 4 carries for 48 yards, and that's 12 yards per carry. I mean, just like his season total. So, I mean, it's just crazy. Carlos
Benavidez kicks away. It's a short kick. Good coverage by the Tigers, as unable to advance very far is Rory Hart, 6'3", 175-pound sophomore for Peotone.
Tackle made by number 23, Carson Etheridge.
Yeah, so let's see what so like I said in the pregame, Peotone's known for 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They're okay with nickel and diming you with the 2-3 yards of carry, but what they don't like to be put in is long yardage situations, such as a 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7. They want to be in those 3rd and 3, 2nd and 3 kind of plays.
Certainly a running formation that they come out with. Kuiper's the quarterback. Carson Etheridge, by the way, had the tackle on that return. And on the ground it goes, and a good play as Soroka, their leading rusher, carries the ball and manages to eke through for about 6 yards.
It's going to be interesting to see how Princeton, I mean, it's one thing to see him on film. It's another thing to react to him in live form. And let's see how Princeton reacts to them. They're going to take, it might take 3 or 4 plays to adjust, but I think you're going to find the boys to adjust pretty well.
So 2nd down and 4. And this running play goes.
Soroka, the ball carrier.
For about 2.
Tackle made by number 24, Danny Saihaki.
And that was Soroka again with the carry. So he's got 2 carries right now. They're going to give him the first down on that. That's a very generous spot.
Yeah, we kind of have a straight-on look at it from our position here in the press box. I thought the same thing too, Schmitty, but it is 1st and 10 for Peotone at their own 43.
They run a tight double wing set.
Up the middle it goes, and once again a nice gain. Dawson Piper on the carry that time.
The defensive line has got to really break through here. They got to just be playing gap responsibilities here, Norm. And what that means is if you just occupy your gap so that running back has nowhere to go to and have the linebackers fill hard, those plays aren't going to go for 5 yards. But they just got to plug that gap. It's easier said than done, but I think the Tigers, they can do it.
2nd down and 5 for the Blue Devils as they approach midfield. Up the middle it goes once again. That was Piper on the carry, and this time short yardage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4. All right at the midfield stripe. Schmitty got to give a tip of the hat to the weatherman.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a gorgeous night. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better playoff football night than tonight, that's for sure, as far as weather goes. And the atmosphere is great. Tigers brought their fans. They came out and support these guys in blue, that's for sure.
All right, so 3rd down and 3 for Peotone. Long snap count. Here's the pitch. And the run is going to be good for a 1st down.
Handoff goes to number 27, Dylan Soroka.
Soroka on the carry once again. And Peotone, at least in the first few plays, Schmitty, doing exactly what they want to do.
Well, exactly what I thought. I mean, they, it's going to take a little bit for the Tigers to adjust what they're going to do. So, they had never seen this formation before. It's a tight, almost scrum-like offense, and they just got to stay low. The defensive linemen do stay low. Don't look for the running back. They need the linebackers to do that.
Now it is Rivera on the carry, and this is just going to be short yardage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
That's a nice job right there by Arthur Burden to fill in the whole gap right there. So a 2-yard gain right there. That's exactly what the Tigers need to do. Bring it 2nd down and 8, and if they can do more of that, then that's going to put Peotone in those long yardage situations that they do not want to be in.
So a big play coming up here. Notice the way the Tigers crowding in a little bit more towards that line of scrimmage. Rivera in motion. He gets the handoff, cuts it up, but not much. Tiger defense there to meet him. Among those, Payne Miller.
Yeah, that was a nice job by the defense line, holding containment, and the outside linebackers forcing them to cut back in. There was nowhere to go for no gain right there to bring down a 3rd down and 8 situation for the Blue Devils.
6:26 to go, first period. Princeton leading 6-0. This time the formation for Peotone appears to be a passing formation. Not saying they will, however. They don't very often. Kuiper's the throw, and the pass is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Chase Rivera. It'll bring up 4th down, and it'll also bring on the punting unit for the Peotone Blue Devils.
Yeah, so a good job by the Tigers. Again, Norm, I don't mean to be redundant or anything, but, you hold Peotone in the those third and long situations, and good things are going to happen. Put them in situations they don't want to be in. They didn't want to throw that pass right there, but they had to because they were in a third down and long situation. So a great job by the Tigers to making some adjustments and doing their jobs.
And a fine pass on that last play by Kuipers. It was pretty much on the money. Now the punt is away. It's like a slice golf shot. It is going to net very little, if any, yardage, and the Tigers will take over with great field position.
I don't mean to make light of it, but I've never seen a line of scrimmage official almost get hit with a punt like that just happened right there. He had to literally duck out of the way so that punt didn't hit him because he didn't see it coming because he wasn't expected it. That's funny stuff.
All right, so we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of this good field position. Leading 6-0 with 4:35 to go, first period. Davis going under center once again. And Augie Christensen still on his feet is going to be very close to a first down. Chris Pagliarulo in on the stop for Peotone. It's going to bring up second down and very short.
So coach is calling a timeout for Peotone, and rightfully so, because that play right there that you just saw Augie run on has been gold mine for the Tigers. So the Blue Devils need to make some adjustments to make sure that play doesn't happen.
And Schmitty certainly, of course, Steve Morton does a great job rounding up our sponsors, and he really didn't have to twist any elbows. Our sponsors we've had all season long agreeing to sponsor this playoff game.
Yeah, Midland Bank, Princeton Redi-Crete, or Redi-Mix, Becks, Michlig Energy, and Central Bank. A big thank you to the Princeton Public School Foundation. We appreciate everybody at home tuning in, and we're so excited that we can bring this broadcast to you.
And of course, Steve Morton is our producer director, and he does such a great job. We also have our student helpers, Austin Gordon and Cail Piper, and on loan from Marquee Sports, PHS alum Kyle Arnett.
Nice.
So what a crew. Second down and short for the Tigers. Will they decide to throw a bomb here? They kind of got a free play to work with. Davis is back to throw. Tosses it long, and it is going to be a touchdown. Danny Sy Hockey. And this play goes for 53 yards with 4:18 to go in the first period.
How does that kid get so wide open game after game after game, Norm? We see it time in and time out. Like, he always is open. He runs that seam route, and at least once a game, he's good for a good chunk of yardage, it seems like. Crazy. Nice job. Good play call by Coach Pearson. Tigers are up on the board 12-0 with the extra point pending.
And what a throw by Teagan.
Oh, absolutely. It was on a rope.
So Teagan's thrown a couple of long passes, and they've been right there. Tigers opting to go for two after not getting an extra point successfully converted the first time. All right, so we're looking for player number 11. We have him. And Davis is going to call his own number, and he is in. Teagan Davis with the 2-point conversion. Princeton's lead is now 14-0. And let's go to Brody for some more playoff games coming up.
Yeah, Norm, so in 3A ball tonight, other than our Princeton game here, we have Elmwood Brimfield, who's 6-3, is at Genoa Kingston 7-2. Of course, the winner of that game will play the Princeton Tigers. The Chicago Kings, who's 5-4, is at Elmhurst IC Catholic, who's 8-1. That'd be a Friday night game. We'll start getting scores here from that in about 40 minutes or so. Monmouth Roseville's 5-4 at Stillman Valley, who's 8-1. That's another Friday night game. Winnebago's 5-4 at Seneca, who's 9-0. That's a Friday night game. Ryle 5-4 at Byron, 8-1. That's another Friday night game. And lastly, Paxton Buckley Lotus 5-4 at Fairbury Prairie Central, who's 9-0. That is another Friday night game. Let me tell you, Norm, there are some great games going on in 3A ball, and a lot of teams from the Big Northern who's playing. And we'll see probably a lot of those teams advance from the Big Northern. Back to you.
All right, thank you much, Brody. Carlos Benavidez set to kick off as the Tigers are up 14-0 with 4:18 to go in the opening quarter. Benavidez's kick is fielded at about the 10-yard line and slipping at about the 22-yard line is Dylan Soroka.
So seeing that what the punter just did, I think Coach Pearson decided to kick it deep to try to pin him back a little bit, so if they can put him in a punt situation, maybe get a little better field position this next time.
In case you're just tuning in, of course, the opponent tonight, the Peotone Blue Devils, and their colors are blue and white. Princeton basically in the all blue uniforms. Peotone with the white jerseys and blue pants. 1st and 10 for Peotone at the 23-yard line. And Soroka up the middle. Maybe ekes out a yard or so. It'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Yeah, great job by the Tigers there. What's happening right now is I think the line is stuffing it up front, and the backside end or linebackers coming around, and they're so fast that they can come around from the backside and grab them before they even try to make that crease to go any further. So great job by the Tigers defense all the way around.
And you know, Schmitty, we talk about the offense as well as we should, but look how many points the Tigers have given up in their last 4 ball games.
Yeah, 7 points. Well, let's just say 5. I mean, the last 5 ball games, 14 points in the last 5 ball games, 3 via shutout, and then 2 just 1 touchdown games there. And I mean, the defense has been there throughout this whole season. They've done a phenomenal job, and they're showing it tonight too.
2nd down and 9 from the 24-yard line. Timeout being called by Peotone.
Blue Devils.
Interesting timeout. They must have not saw how they were lined. Didn't like how Princeton maybe was lining up on the defensive side of things. So coach wanted to talk it over with the Blue Devils.
All right, and let's go to Brody for more playoff games.
Sure, Norman, 4A ball. We have the Dixon Dukes, who's 6-3, is at the Rochelle Hub, 7-2. That's another Friday night game. That's an old NCIC rivalry from back in the day. Geneseo is on the road, 318 miles on the road, that is, against Carterville, which is way down south in Illinois, who's 9-0. That's a game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Hall, who plays at 7 o'clock tonight, 5-4 at Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin. Hopefully we'll get some updates here. I'm interested to see how the Red Devils play in 4A ball. And lastly, in 4A, Quincy Notre Dame was 5-4 at Macomb, 9-0. That's a Saturday night game tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Back to some football.
All right, thank you very much, Brody. We'll see what the Blue Devils came up with during the timeout. And pretty much what you would expect. Right up the middle it goes. Is that Soroka underneath all that? No, it is Dawson Piper. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 5. Schmitty, Brody mentioned the Hall Red Devils. They really got a tough draw in their game.
Yeah, Sacred Heart Griffin, they're 9-0, and they brought everybody back from last year. So, it's a long trip down by Springfield there, and, good luck to the Red Devils.
So, 3rd down and 5. This is a big play for Peotone. They really need to get a 1st down. And the pass is on the way. Good throw by Kuipers, and this is going to go for big yardage. Hauling that one in is David Redi, 6'1", 205 pounds, and a senior, gets it into Tiger territory.
That's a 25-yard pass connection, and has a nice design play by the Blue Devils.
2:37 to go, first period. Princeton's lead 14-0. So Peotone, though, their passing stats were pretty meager coming into this game. They've shown an ability to throw the ball, and we have a whistle as the play just gets started. Usually you're thinking in terms of illegal procedure. And it is going to be marched off against Peotone. It'll put them back in their own territory at about the 48-yard line.
5-yard penalty, first down and 15.
Got people watching from Ames, Iowa. We appreciate you watching. Marcy says she loves the new addition to the camera angles. Steve, so nice job by you guys. And Kyle and Cail. And whoever else is in charge of that.
1st and 15 for Peotone. Let's see if they go to the air or not. No, they get the runner that fools everybody. Big yardage on that play as Chase Rivera on the carry.
It's a quick reverse there, and Rivera just hits the gas and gets pulled down by Noah Laporte there, but not before he gains a first down.
So Peotone desperately trying to get a touchdown here in the first period. They've advanced the ball to the Tiger 33. They've had a big pass play from Kuipers to Redi, and now the big run by Rivera. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 33. Kuipers back to throw. He's under heavy pressure. Lets it go, and it is incomplete. We'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, so Kuiper's 1 of 3 here for 25 yards, but that big 25-yard completion was enough for a first down. So he's capable of throwing the ball. Was probably an element of surprise there to throw on first down, not expecting it out of the Blue Devils, but maybe not a bad call by the coach. Try to surprise the Tigers there.
Excellent point. Of course, you mentioned Kuipers 1 out of 3, but it would be no stretch at all for him to be 2 of 3 as one of his passes. The first one he threw was right on the button. Now we've got a player being sent to the sidelines. Not sure what the issue is. But all right, well, there's some talk the reason why Redi was set off the field was because he's the only one with pink socks, and it looks like they're changing his socks right now. Right up the middle it goes for Peotone. That's Rivera on the carry.
Brought down by number 2, Tegan Davis.
And it'll bring up 3rd and long.
Gain of 3 on the play.
Norm, I just received a comment that Tigers Central Live's broadcast is better than Amazon's Thursday Night Football broadcast on Prime.
Oh, well, thank you for those kind words, whoever sent that in.
Jim Hulteen's in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. I kind of wish I was there with him. But anyways, thanks for watching us, Jim. We appreciate it.
3rd and 7 at the Tiger 30. Kuipers looks to throw. He's under pressure and lets it go. He's got a man open, and it is incomplete, beyond the reach of Chase Rivera. And it'll bring up
As you can see on the replay, that Augie was staying with Rivera until the end, and he must have been passing him off to the safeties, and the safeties were not there. They weren't on the same page, but nice job by the Tigers just to know what's going on in the situation there.
Well, I'm sorry, Schmitty, obviously 4th down in Tiger territory. They're going to go for it here.
Yeah, it's passing down for them. It'll be interesting to see what kind of routes they run here, Norm.
The Tigers are going to have to provide better coverage than they did on that last play. Now Kuipers back to throw. Rolls out, lets it fly, and he's got a man. It is complete inside the 20-yard line.
Is complete.
And that's going to be good for a first down. Rory Hart with the catch. 6'3" sophomore, and that's going to end the first period with Princeton leading 14-0, but Peotone on the march.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what happened on that coverage last play, Norm. It looked like we had 4 Tiger defenders around there, but nobody guarded Hart there. And unfortunately for the Tigers, they give up a first down. So Peotone's got some stuff clicking, and see if they can capitalize on this long drive so far.
And how would you rate the performance of the Peotone offensive line so far?
I think they're doing a fairly well job against a line from the Princeton Tigers, who's very capable of dominating the game. I think they're holding their own so far on the offensive side for Peotone. Now, defensively, I think the Tigers have owned them offensively. But, speaking-wise, offensively for Peotone, they're holding their own. So, I mean, nice job by the offensive lineman. I mean, anytime you hold the quarterback very rarely got hit, in the 5 times he's been out back to drop back to pass. So I know they're rolling him out of the pocket a little bit, but, that's a tribute to that offensive line doing their job.
Absolutely. And, Brody, I know you've got a halftime guest coming up.
Yeah, Coach Brandon Crawford's going to come up, and he's going to talk about not only how the high school golf team went this year, but also some of the holiday events and holiday concerts coming up that he's in charge of. I'm excited for that.
All right, and we are as well. Thank you, Brody. So 1st and 10 for Peotone at the 18-yard line. And Soroka on the carry. He is hit hard, but good gain for Peotone. Not sure who got that tackle, Schmitty.
It was Tegan Davis on the tackle. You're going to watch here on the replay as they hit that quick reverse, and out of nowhere, here comes Tegan Davis, lowers his shoulder and knocks down Soroka there, number 27.
2nd down and 5 at the 13 of Princeton.
Is it Soroka? Is that what you said? Soroka?
Mike Miranda saying the same thing, so I feel on good ground.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it right.
And this time on the carry for Peotone is Dawson Piper. There is a penalty flag on the play. No indication as of yet. Oh, it's against the Tigers, and it's going to advance the ball down to what? Near the 5-yard line.
Penalty on the Tigers.
So that's going to be the 2nd penalty on the Tigers. This one has significance because it gives the Blue Devils a first down.
Well, these Peotone Blue Devils, they have come to fight, and they are doing a good job. They have it 1st and goal at the 5. Long snap count. And they're going to get about halfway to the goal line. On the carry was Rivera.
Rivera on the carry. Met by number 11, Noah Laporte.
Noah Laporte in on the tackle. Go ahead, Schmitty.
The problem was Laporte tackles, but it's 5 yards after he gains 5 yards on the play, so it's 2nd down and goal at the 2.
2nd and goal.
We got to do a better job of sustaining that up front so we can fill the gaps up quicker.
10:13 to go, 2nd period.
All the time.
Kuiper's under center, and straight up the middle go the Peotone Blue Devils, and it is a touchdown. Dawson Piper from 2 yards out with 10:02 to go in the 2nd period. The first touchdown of the night for Peotone, and the score is now Princeton 14 and Peotone 6.
Yeah, that's a great job by Peotone. That's a great, impressive drive by Peotone, picking up a good 4th down play, a big, long 3rd down play, sustaining that drive, and that's just what the doctor ordered for them. They needed that to answer back to Princeton's 2 touchdowns.
Jackson Bergeron on for the extra point, and it is blocked. It is no good. And so the score will remain Princeton 14 and Peotone 6. Let's go to Brody for some more playoff games.
Yeah, in 5A ball tonight, we have Chicago Westinghouse at Sycamore, who's 9-0. Ottawa Pirates 5-4 at Moment Seymour 9-0. That game starts in about a half hour. LP is at Morris That game starts at a half hour as well. The Dunlap Eagles are going 167 miles down to Highland, which is down near St. Louis. That game will start here in a little bit. And finally, Decatur MacArthur's 5-4 will play Peoria Hanoi, and that game is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Some great 5A games coming up here in the next day or so. Back to you, Norm.
All right, you mentioned Sycamore 9-0, and Schmitty, I'm sure you're aware of who coaches Sycamore.
Coach Ryan, I believe, right?
Yeah, Joe Ryan, who was here at Princeton. Coach Pearson recently setting a record for all-time wins here at Princeton, and he passed Joe Ryan. That Peoria High team, that'll be interesting to hear that score. They're always capable of putting a lot of points on the board. We've had a fair share here tonight. 20 points put on the board, 14 of them by Princeton. 14-6 Tigers, 10:02 to go before halftime. Short kick, and it's Byers on the return. Look at him go. Brady Byers out beyond the 45-yard line.
Brady Byers on the return.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the Tigers. They have a lot of weapons that they use so they can put them in the special teams, like Brady Byers, who's an up back there and just kicks a short kick, thinking you're going to get maybe 5 yards out of the play, and Brady strings along for 10 to 15 because he's an athlete, and that's what athletes do, and the Tigers are surrounded with athletes.
What would you do here, Schmitty? I mean, both the pass and the run have been pretty effective.
I think you can set it up both ways. I think you can keep running the ball, or you can set up some passing off the run as well, Norm. So, I mean, I suspect that they're going to run a high dose of Augie Christensen maybe here.
1st and 10 at the Tiger 45, and Schmitty's exactly right. Augie Christensen beyond midfield. Oh, we might have a horse collar here. No penalty flag, however. It'll bring up 2nd down and about a yard or two.
Yeah, Augie's already got 6 carries for 65 yards. He's off to having himself a phenomenal game, and we're just 9:45 to go in this second quarter.
Now Davis in the shotgun formation with 3 wide receivers to the right side. Peotone going with a 4-man defensive front, but they're going to blitz, and it works out well for them as Augie is hitting the backfield for a loss.
Yeah, you don't see that very often, but that's a 3-yard loss for Augie. And, I don't mind the play call, but we got to get off the ball a little bit better on that play right there.
So 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers. They're at the 49-yard line of the Peotone Blue Devils. Tigers got out to a 14-0 lead, and just moments ago, Dawson Piper, a 2-yard run for Peotone. That made the game 14-6 where it stands now. And Davis is going to call his own number. And Teagan powers his way for a 1st down to about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that's a good hard-fought run by Teagan. You're not going to bring him down with just one guy. And Teagan showing that there and gains a big 1st down for the Tigers. I'm interested to see if they can go back to those 3 trips out to the wide side and a single on the far side, because it looks like that the Peotone's in cover 0, which is just straight up man-to-man. I like to see us exploit that a little bit.
Davis in the shotgun looking to throw, and the pass is away, and it is complete. And that is Noah Laporte, and he is inside the 20-yard line down to about the 15. There's the replay, Schmitty.
Yeah, as you see, a nice pass from Teagan to Laporte, who was wide open.
Had a chance to talk to Noah's grandfather before the game tonight, and I echoed something I've said before. He is a young Rob Gronkowski out there. He is absolutely terrific. 1st and 10 at the 17 of Peotone. Tigers taking their time here. And now Davis calls his own number, lunges forward. And it looks like a gain of about 2 on the play, maybe 3.
Teagan's seeing something on that on that backside cut. I think he's seeing a seam that's open. He just got tripped up. Look for him to run that play later on down the game and make that backside cut work next time, and he'll be off to the races.
7:44 to go in the first half. Tigers on the march. Davis lets it go, and it is a touchdown. Noah Laporte, a 14-yard touchdown pass from Tegan Davis with 7:35 to go before halftime.
All about positioning.
I tell you what, it's my favorite, because you see this replay here, instant replay. Noah Laporte just running like a slant pattern there, and Tegan hits him right on the numbers. When you're man-to-man like that, it's hard to stop that pass route right there. It's my favorite route in high school football because it's so hard to stop.
And now the popular Carlos Benavidez in for the PAT, and the kick is right on the money, right into the student section, and the Tiger lead is 21-6. And once again, Schmitty, I will ask you, what did you think about that drive by the Tigers?
I mean, Peotone doesn't have an answer for the Tigers right now, and I'm not sure they're going to have an answer for them all night. The Tigers' defense, rarely will we ever say this, they need to step up this possession. They need to show Peotone that they're up for the challenge, that they can stop them. They've had a chance to look at their offense now 3 times, make some adjustments. I see big things coming out of the defense here. Let's see what happens.
And let's go to Brody for some more playoff games.
Sure, moving on to some of the big boys now. Washington, who's 6-3, is at Midland, who's 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Danville, 6-3, is at Normal West, 8-1. That's a Saturday game. And then in 7A ball, we have DeKalb, who's 6-3, is at Moline, 8-1. That's a Friday night game. Plainfield Central is 5-4, is at Pekin, 9-0. It's a Friday night game. And lastly, Normal Community is 6-3, is at Rockton Hanoian, who's 7-2. That's a Friday night game. And now for the kickoff.
All right. And Benavidez with a strong kick. It bounds down to about the 5-yard line. Let's see if the Tigers can get some good coverage, and they do, as Peotone cut down well short of the 20-yard line.
I understand what the young man is trying to do there, trying to let that ball go to the end zone, Norm, but it didn't work out too well for him, as that ball just died right there, and he had to pick it up and go, or else it's like it's a live ball if you don't pick it up. Had no choice but to pick it up, and the Tigers are there to pounce on him.
So kudos to Carlos Benavidez for a well-placed kick. Good coverage by the Tigers, and Peotone's going to start 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line. Well, Schmitty has put out a challenge to the Tiger defense. I think we all kind of do. Let's see how they can do with Peotone deep in their own territory. Peotone up the middle.
Handoff goes to number 5, Dawson Piper.
Dawson Piper, who scored a touchdown for Peotone earlier, ekes out about 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
About 4 in the play.
Yeah, Carson Etheridge there on the tackle. That wasn't a bad start. It's not a bad start at all. I mean, you hold them to 3 yards there. That's exactly what they like to do. They like a 3-yard McCall to dust. So you need to hold them to 2 yards, to 1 yard, to maybe lose a yard. That's what your goal is for the Tigers right now.
2nd down and 6 from the 19. Kuiper's back to throw. He's under heavy pressure, and he is sacked. He is sacked.
Augie Christensen there with the sack. You got to let that ball fly, because the Tigers have got too many fast athletes on that team for you to hold on to that football, and he paid the price for it there, Norman. A loss of about, we'll call it 7.
Good call by defensive coordinator Dave Moore, sending Augie in on the rush, and boy, that paid dividends. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 13 from the Peotone 12.
Got people from Muncie, Indiana watching. We really appreciate that. Logan Arkles is watching from Eli, Minnesota. We appreciate you watching, Logan. So we appreciate everybody tuning in to watching the Tigers play tonight.
Certainly no question about that, as Peotone facing 3rd and 14. And here's a good defensive play by the Tigers, limiting this one to short yardage.
Yeah, as Danny said, hockey there doing a nice job. Shoestring tackle, but he had sniffed that, just dove, grabbed him by the shoestrings and tackled him, bring down 4th down and 10 in a punting situation.
And we remember what happened before when Peotone punted, it didn't work out so well. Fourth and 10 for the Blue Devils. Rory Hart set to kick it away.
This is a cool shot. It's a cool look. It's like a trenches. I know.
The snap is good, and this punt much better. Tigers are just going to let it bounce, and Peotone will down it at about the 41-yard line as Marquis Walton downing the ball.
So the Tigers take over a good field position here on the 40-yard line, and you know, I'm telling you, we're a quick strike offense, and I don't think it's going to take long for the Tigers to punch this one in either.
I wouldn't mind seeing Mr. Noah Laporte going down the field and Teagan just putting one right on that number 11.
I mean, Teagan's 4 for 5 for 122 yards right now so far in the game.
Noah is to the far side of the field. Davis awaits the shotgun snap. CJ Hickey goes out for a screen, but instead the pass goes to Laporte. He's got 5 yards, he's got 10, and he's got about 12 or 13 on that wide receiver screen that was perfectly executed.
Yeah, that screen's all set up by the fake screen on the far side, and he comes back and hits that underneath route. So I love that execution there by the Tigers.
Very good play call. 1st and 10 at the 28. Now we have a stoppage in play. Illegal procedure against the Tigers. They'll bring up 1st and 15. One thing we've seen so far tonight, Schmitty, is those penalties against the Tigers have not cost them. They've been able to overcome them.
Yeah, that's only the 3rd penalty in the game. When I say only, that's a pretty good, not a bad deal for us, as we're known to maybe get some penalties here and there.
So Davis awaits the snap, looks to throw, and very quickly gets that pass complete to Danny Saihaki. Saihaki down to about the 26-yard line, so he gets back the penalty yardage plus more.
Pass is complete to number 24.
Bring up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, I love that play call. I mean, I don't think the Blue Devils has any answer for the Tigers' passing attack, and Coach Pearson is exploiting it, that's for sure.
Would appear to be a running formation here. We'll see if that's what the Tigers do. And it's C.J. Hickey on the run. And Hickey down inside the 15-yard line. That'll be a 1st down with plenty to spare.
Yeah, we're going to give him about a gain of 15 on the play. It was a good hard run by C.J., but Teagan Davis had a nice block to break him free right from the get-go.
Now the Tigers give it to Hickey once again, and Hickey getting down close to the 5-yard line. Boy, these defensive coaches for Peotone, they have just really got to be puzzled as what can you come up with to stop this Tiger team? So many weapons. Now a counter play, and it is a touchdown. Touchdown Princeton Tigers. That is Augie Christensen from 6 yards out.
Yeah, that's a great play call off of the, as you see the counter play here. Augie leading the way by number 51, Big Bennett Williams, and number 52, I believe that's Ian Morris, leading the way to block for Augie, but Augie had a hole that I could have ran through.
And now Carlos Benavidez kicks it through strong, and the Tiger lead is 28-6. Well, Schmitty, I know I've been saying it all night long, but again, I'd like your impressions of that drive because it certainly was an impressive one.
Well, like I said, I mean, they were playing cover 0 there for a while. They had a single safety overhead or there for the last couple of throws, but you know, Teagan Davis is on point right now, folks. He is 6 for 7 for 141 yards. I mean, Augie Christensen's clicking with 71 yards on the ground. You know, they're just clicking on all cylinders on offense, and all they need to do is make a couple of stops against this Peotone offense, and like, you know, there you go, 28-6 lead.
graphic for the moment shows 27, but it is 28-6. That kick by Carlos Benavidez was good. And speaking of Carlos Benavidez, he is set to kick off. Benavidez has done a great job on kickoffs. This time it's a low squib kick, and the Blue Devils having some trouble with it. Tigers are going to have good coverage, and Peotone will start 1st and 10 at their 22. As let's see who was among those in on the tackle, Schmitty.
Arthur Burden made the tackle. It was number 9. He's already off the field. He's so excited, but he was flying down there making the tackle and just calmly jogging to the sideline like that. That's what expected of me. That's what I better do. So, you know, if you can remember, Carson Etheridge was out at the beginning of the season in the linebacker, and Arthur played a big role at that linebacker spot, played it really well, and to have him playing just in special teams right now is just a gift for the Tigers.
Yeah, he has done a great job. Real tight formation here for Peotone. And they go off left guard. Not much on the play. Do we have a fumble? No indication of that. Finally, the ball is spotted. It's a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Gain of a couple on the play. 2nd down and 8. Blue Devils.
Apparently Dawson Piper on that carry.
I kind of watching what the Tigers are doing there because I can get a good angle here, and it looks like they're lining up very close together, defense linemen up over the center and the 2 guards, and try to stuff that middle up, so they have to bounce it off tackles where their linebackers are there to fill the spot.
Now it's Rivera on the carry, and he is hit in the backfield.
Rivera on the
That's Ian Morris there, I believe. He came through and just a great job by Ian.
You know, you mentioned Arthur Burden. I was talking with a neighbor the other day, and of course Teagan is Teagan. We all know that. But it's like, who's the guy that you come away talking about? I told him, for me, it's Noah Laporte, and he said, well, for me, it's Arthur Burden. But you got a lot of choices. Augie Christensen's pretty incredible too.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, there's several Tigers out there that you could pick, you know, from who is you're most impressed by. Tigers are taking a timeout to preserve some time on the clock. With 2:12 to go, putting the Peotone in a 3rd down 9 situation. A good timeout by Coach Pearson.
And it gives us time to, Brody, I know you've run through them once, but playoffs are playoffs. This is big stuff. So if you want to go back to the 1A games, go right ahead.
Sure, Norm. So in 1A, we have Chicago Richards, who's 5-4 at Lena Winslow, who's 9-2. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock game. Stark County, 5-4 at Rova, 5-4. That game will be starting up here in about 10 minutes or so. Aurora Christian, who's 5-4 at Fulton, who's 7-2. That's a Saturday game at 2 o'clock. Rockford Lutheran, who's 5-4 at Anwan Weathersfield Titans, who's 7-2. That's a Saturday game at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Forreston, who's 5-4 at St. Bede, who's 7-2. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock game. And Morrison, 5-4 at Ottawa Marquette, who's 8-1. That's also a Saturday game at 1 o'clock. And those are all of our 1A playoffs coming up. Now, Norm, I looked up earlier today how far it is from Peotone to Princeton. And it's 103 miles or an hour and 41 minutes away.
So a long trip, but other teams had more.
Yeah, think about poor Geneseo.
Yeah, it was what, over 350 miles, something like that?
Yeah, that was 318 miles.
Oh, 318. Only 318.
Only.
Schmitty, when Brody was given those 1A playoffs, what about Fulton? Every year, huh?
Yeah.
Just about.
Isn't that crazy? I was thinking about the Forest and St. Bede matchup. That's a tough matchup for St. Bede. Foreston's usually a perennial powerhouse in football, 1A, and they're really physical. So it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow between those two teams.
Yeah, there might be some 1A upsets coming up here in the next day or so.
And, you know, we mentioned about Hall, and they're really up against it. But, you know, what a season for the Red Devils. Great job by them to get in the playoffs. All right, so what will Peotone dial up? 3rd down and 9 from their 24. Whistle blows. And the referee's talking, but I haven't seen any indication here.
Well, what's going on is there's 2:12 on the clock, and now there's a minute 53.
Give them
No,
5
I really think that I looked on the clock. I thought there was 2:12 on the clock. Maybe not. Maybe Steve corrected me. But maybe now it's 1:53. I don't know.
We got a fan yelling at the scoreboard operator, which normally is John Reinhardt, and let me tell you, you're yelling at the wrong guy. He is the best in the state. He does a fantastic job.
I could not agree more, Norm.
All right, so third down and 9.
They did put more time on the clock. They put 2:01 back on the clock, so they put 8 seconds on the clock. Actually, it's 2:12. Knew it. I knew it. Championship right here, Steve Morton. Right here, buddy. 2:12 on the clock.
All right. Will the Blue Devils go to the air here? Kuiper's back to throw. He's got some time. He lets it go, and the pass is incomplete. Beyond the reach of Dylan Soroka and well covered by the Tigers.
So I think that was the whole beef is, Coach Pearson called timeout 2:12 to go, and I think they tried to wind the clock up. So before the play even got started, it was at 1:53. He's like, whoa, I wouldn't have called a timeout if we were going to keep the clock going. So good catch by Coach Pearson, and puts Peotone in a 4th down and long situation. They got a punt, and it seems to me like Tigers are going to get the ball in a good field position again.
And I can't help but think, perhaps at least, that the referee indicated to wind the clock. And like you said, good catch by Coach Pearson, because it'll give Princeton a little more time for this upcoming drive. But the way they've been going, a minute is a long time. Here is the punt, and it is fielded by Noah Laporte. Laporte gets to about the 48-yard line. Penalty flag comes flying in. Could be holding, could be a face mask.
Pay attention to Augie Christensen. He came off the field, kind of hobbled a little bit. Hopefully Augie's okay. Don't need him hurt, but he wasn't going to show it on the field. He toughed it on the sidelines, and then being a 10-2 now.
Penalty is against the Tigers. Usually in that situation, a block in the back.
So that's the 4th penalty for 31 yards for the Tigers.
2 minutes to go before halftime. Tigers up 28-6. They'd like to get one more touchdown at least before halftime. 4 wide receivers. C.J. Hickey in the backfield with Tegan Davis. And Tegan back to throw. Fires away. Noah Laporte, 1st down and more as Noah gets out to the 45-yard line. Tigers are going to go no huddle.
Number 27, Soroka.
Clock down to 1:53 to go before halftime.
That's 4 catches for Noah Laporte, 67 yards.
Same formation, and Davis back to throw. Plenty of time. Fires, and he's got a man open. That's Danny Sayaki. Pass falls incomplete.
Danny tried to run with the ball before he caught it. Looked like there to me, Norm. The ball could have been thrown up just a little bit, but Danny will be the first one to tell you probably should have caught that one.
Yeah, I think you nailed everything. Exactly right. Saw he had some green in front of him and maybe took his eye off the ball for just that split second. That stops the clock with 1:38 to go before halftime. Tigers with it at Peotone's 45, leading 28-6. Davis on the run. Tries to get around the edge, and he does. He's to the 40, he's to the 35, to the 30. Inside the 30-yard line, even goes out of bounds to save a timeout as he gets down to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, as you see, Augie Christensen and Brady Byers doing a nice job blocking ahead of him, as well as Andrew Peacock. And Tegan had the presence of mind to get out of bounds there to save a timeout. Just a heads-up play all the way around by the Tigers.
Passing formation here for the Tigers, and Davis back to throw, has plenty of time, fires, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Noah Laporte.
So after I brag on Tegan there a little bit, this is those last 2 passes, but nonetheless, he's
Second down and 10, Princeton.
7 for 10 for 155 yards in this first half.
1:21 to go before halftime, and the Tigers do have 2 timeouts. So really, with the way Princeton's advancing the ball, the clock shouldn't beat them on this drive. Davis has 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Instead, he hits Danny Saihaki on the slant, and Saihaki gets down to the 15-yard line on a well-thrown ball by Tegan Davis.
Another slant play there. I love that route. I told you over and over again how much I love that route, but I'm telling you, it's open more times than not. Tegan hits him right on the number. Saihaki keeps running with it. It's a first down, and the Tigers are in business on the 15-yard line.
Ball's at the 15-yard line.
Clock running with 1:11 and counting to go. First half, Tiger lead 28-6. This time the Tigers in more of a running formation. And that's exactly what they're going to do. It's Augie Christensen and Peotone not fooled at all. This play going to go for no gain or possibly even a slight loss. No gain. Second down and 10. Clock at 45 seconds to go. Now it's C.J. Hickey. And Hickey able to eke out a few yards, but it'll bring up third down and about 6. 4-down territory, obviously, Schmitty.
Yeah, that's why you can get away with that play there. I think, Norm, the C.J. Hickey's been, he's got 4 carries for 34 yards, so he's been averaging about 9 yards a pop, and that play on the right-hand side has been working well for him. So I'm okay with that play call. You got timeouts to burn. Got 5 yards in the play. Now it picks up a manageable third down and 5. You're on the 10-yard line. You got Peotone on the heels. Punching this in would be huge momentum going into the half for the Tigers.
And, of course, with the clock dipping under a minute, highly unlikely that Peotone will be able to answer this score before halftime if indeed the Tigers can get it in. Peotone has proven to be, though, a worthy adversary, that's for sure. So Davis will go from the shotgun. He has Augie Christensen to his immediate left. And Davis keeping it himself. And Tegan's going to run in from the 10-yard line at the 32-second mark of the first half.
My second favorite play is, Norman, high school football. Just let number 2 run the ball on the left-hand side and scamper in for 10 yards. You can't go wrong with that play as well. So nice job by the Tigers. Coach Pearson managing the clock. 32 seconds to go in this first half. And the Tigers, it's all Tigers, 34-6, pending the extra point.
And Carlos Benavidez, boy, he is amazing. Good once again. He's 3 for 3 on the night. And the Tiger lead is 35-6. And once again, Schmitty, your thoughts on that drive?
Good field position by the Tigers, taking advantage in the air attack like they've been doing all game long. Pinning Peotone back on their heels and mixing it nicely with the run-pass ratio. I like how they're mixing it. It's not all run, it's not all pass. It's probably about 50-50, honestly, and good play call by Coach Pearson, and Tigers are up 35-6 going on the half.
And our outstanding production crew tonight, of course, headed up by Steve Morton, our producer-director, Steve Gray, who even had a shot from Prouty Gym, the roof of Prouty Gym early on, and then our other folks, Schmitty.
Austin Gordon, Cail Piper, and on loan from Marquee Sports, PHS alumni Kyle Arnett. We appreciate everybody's help involved in this. It's just a great production staff, and they do a great job.
No question about that. And Peotone getting some good yardage on this return as they get it into Tiger territory, down at about the 43-yard line.
As you're going to see this run by number 7, Anaya. He just turns on the burners there and goes down the left hash mark, and they're in they're in business here with 21 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, we've noted that James Kuipers, the Blue Devils quarterback, has a strong arm, and no doubt we'll see it here.
Here's where you got to be careful if you're him, though. You got number 2 in the backfield or in the secondary. Don't throw his way, because if he picks it, he's going to the house. Promise.
Kuipers in the shotgun, back to throw, rolls to his right, has some time, fires, and he has a man. Good for about 8 yards. Stop the clock with, well, wait a minute. The clock is still running. Down to 6 seconds.
Gain of 8 in the play.
Timeout taken
Second
by
down and 2,
Peotone after
Peotone.
that 8-yard gain. Well, you can afford to give up 8, Schmitty. I mean, a nice play, but
Yeah, that's the cushion you give. I mean, you give them 21 yards. You don't want anybody to get behind you from the defensive back standpoint. I think the Tigers got a benefit of the call there as he was pushed out of bounds, and now he's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty by the official because he was chewing him out, and he just got tossed.
his night is over. His night is over, so I'm assuming that's the head coach, Coach Chalmers.
I mean, I think he's got a legit point. The kid was pushed out of bounds. Clock should have stopped, but the official did not wave his hands to stop the clock. But nonetheless, he is tossed and he is out of the game.
Well, the thing of it is, you know, once you get that first unsportsmanlike, like you say, he had a point, but you've got to zip it. So, Schmitty, I'm assuming he'll have to leave
he's got to leave the field
area. Yeah.
He's got to leave the field, and he's going to be warm in the locker room.
Wow. I don't know. I've seen a basketball coach get totally ejected before, but I don't think I've ever seen it in football before.
I've never. Well, I have witnessed it once, but that's the only time I've ever witnessed it.
All right, so obviously Peotone now almost hoping for a miracle with 6 seconds left and the ball at their own 36-yard line. Kuipers under heavy pressure. He's going to run it, and that will end the first half as Kuipers could be hurt here as he was tackled at the 42-yard line. And another unsportsmanlike penalty coming against the Peotone coaching staff, and they really need to settle down here. Brother, I'll tell you what, one of the Peotone coaches trying to settle his colleagues down, and he is wise indeed. Well, we've got coming up at halftime, Brody will be interviewing Brandon Crawford, and then Schmitty will have some stats. He'll recap the scoring, and then we'll get ready for third quarter action as the Tigers lead here by a score of 35-6. Also, of course, we'll have the performance by the band, so we'll hear the Tiger band and then Brody's halftime interview. As the conversation at midfield, Coach Pearson's involved, and the referee just indicating it is halftime. All right, so next up on the docket, you'll be hearing the Princeton Tiger band very shortly, and then it will be Brody and Brandon Crawford.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the field your Princeton High School Marching Tigers. They are led onto the field tonight by drum majors Sadie Thornton and Jacob Knickerbocker. For this bonus playoff performance, the band has selected a favorite tune from our basketball binders. This fiery Latin original is Salsa and Chimps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Bryant Field the Princeton High School Pom Squad under the direction of Ms. Abby Cochran and co-captains Lexi Boslog and Sadie Thornton. Tonight, the Poms and band return to their selection from the first game of the season, sticking with the Latin sounds. This is Tio Macaco.
luck. All right, guys, and we're back with our halftime interview with the one and only Coach Brandon Crawford. Well, Coach Crawford, thanks for coming up tonight. So tell me so far, what are your thoughts on the game?
I think our boys are doing what they prepared to do. They work real hard, not only in the classroom but all week, and it's exciting to see them maintaining the success and motivation they've had throughout the season tonight.
Exactly. 35-6 is really telling, especially with a lack of coaches for the other team right now.
They're going to struggle.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle.
So, in case people don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Brandon Crawford. I've been the vocal music teacher here at PHS since 2010. I teach all the vocal music courses. I teach guitar, I teach music theory, I teach piano. Help out with some other things around the building. I'm also the head golf coach. I took that over a couple years ago from my good buddy and good friend, Will Gross, who I'm going to give him some love. I know he's out in Colorado right now with work and things, and I miss you, bud. Look forward to seeing you when you're home.
Yeah, Will Gross is just a great guy, that's for sure. So, as the high school head golf coach, we've wrapped up our season here, and I'm a little biased as Coach Crawford's assistant in the golf program. So what are some high, lows, takeaways, and highlights that you've had this season from our golf program?
Well, my job was real easy taking over this program. I took it over from Coach Gross, who had it for 10 years. And, I worked with him. I coached under him. He and I talked golf all the time. He really set this program up for the success that we've been able to maintain. We had a fantastic year. Our kids really learned how to fight. They learned how to keep the ball in front. They learned how to keep the big numbers off the card. We went 15-5 at the varsity level with 11-2 in the conference. Finished second overall in conference this year at the varsity level. Went 15-3 and 9-2 in the conference level at the JV realm. So, we had a great year. We had some success with some individuals. We had Jaden Eggers, Carter Patterson, and Tyson Phillips all advance out of the regionals to the 2A sectional down at Coyote Creek in Bartonville. We had a successful year. Looking forward to see where it goes next year.
Yeah, that was great getting down to sectionals down there. What a wonderful course that was.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You saw it firsthand this year, and I know, if I talk to Coach Church or Coach Price, who are here, or my buddy Coach Gross, boy, we really get the poor draw going 2A, and then they send us down west, and they send us to sectionals that are just flat out loaded.
Oh yeah.
And you look at the scores, there's scores that are sending 85s to state, and 78 makes the cut out of our section.
Right.
For any kid to get out of there, that very well could be the best round of their life.
Oh, for sure.
And for our kids, for us to represent Princeton High School golf, had 3 kids down there. We were 2 swings away from getting our team down there. That just says wonders for how hard our kids worked and how hard they trusted the plan.
Exactly. And speaking of the 2 swings, we did wonderful down at regionals down in Cambridge at Valley View. So looking ahead here at the golf program in the next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, what are some of our future potentials that we have?
I wish I could answer that. Everything's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Because it's how hard these kids want to work, and I could sit here all day and talk about the coaches that we've had and the players we've had. The coach we had before you, as one of our JV coaches, was Sophia Suarez. She might be one of the best and most decorated high school girl golfers Princeton's ever had. And, as an assistant coach, she did great things. And part of my success is because of her. Those varsity boys we had this year, she had them as freshmen.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of good things. But, I don't think there's ever one single player that you could say, oh, I expect great things from them.
Sure.
You got to hold everybody accountable, and they're going to golf, like you've heard me say it 100 times, you get out of the game what you put into it.
Exactly.
And we're going to see how hard they want to work and how hard they want to maintain success and represent Princeton with Tiger golf.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see with the hard work and dedication that our team will put in, I'm very excited to see what we can do here looking forward next year and beyond.
There's opportunity. We'll see how they approach it.
Exactly. Changing gears a little bit here. As the head of the vocal program at Princeton High School, tell us a little bit about some of the holiday events coming up here that you are be running.
Well, we got our alumni holiday concert coming up. That'll be I want to say maybe the 12th of December, that Monday. So we always welcome back the alumni of the concert choir program from any year.
Yeah.
We've had several singers from Tom Crane, several singers of Joy Shirt, several singers of mine that all come back. And, that's always a fun one for me, seeing the former students, not only of my time here, but of my predecessors. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Kids are working hard right now preparing for our Madrigal Dinner. That's an annual thing, and we have one of the longest running Madrigal programs at the high school level throughout the state of Illinois.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Based off of the numbers I've ran and through histories and programs and things, we might be the longest running. Morrison was up there for a long time, and they ended up having to lose that program, unfortunately. And when they did, we kind of took the reins with that. So that's something that we take a lot of pride in with our program, and the kids do a great job with it.
Yeah, most definitely. And, I think it's really special with the alumni choir playing. That's just a great opportunity to bring all the alumni back that are still in the area and those that have moved on from the area back into the high school to relive those high school experiences and memories.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's always great to see those. I'm going to call them kids because they will always be kids.
For sure.
At least to me. My kids, they'll always be my kids. So it's always great to see them back. You're learning this now just as a teacher, as a young teacher. The relationships we build with them in the classroom, no matter how great a student or how poor a student, in 4 years they're gone.
Yeah.
And so any chance that you get to see them again and just see what they've made of their opportunities in life is just fun to see.
Exactly. To see, how they grow, how they excel over time, and
correct,
and become, successful adults and great members of our community.
Oh, I do got to give a big shout out to my buddy Tyler Hammett up in Wisconsin. Tyler's a new papa. He and his wife just welcomed a baby girl. So,
wonderful.
So I'm looking forward to meeting that little one, and hope you're doing well up there, Ty.
Awesome. Well, all right, Coach. Well, hey, thanks for coming up tonight. We had a lot of fun. And we'll turn this back over to Norm, and I'll go through some score updates that have been rolling in as we've been talking. But thanks again, Coach Crawford.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate Coach Crawford coming up here. And Brody, as long as the iron's hot, why don't you go ahead and give us those score updates?
All right. So my good buddy Dave Camp's been texting me tonight, and now it's past 7 o'clock, so now we'll start getting some good scores in here. But we have Monmouth Roseville 14, Stillman Valley 8, Sacred Heart 13, Hall 0, Rova 7 over Stark County 0, and lastly Byron over Lisle 13-0.
And what was that first score again, Brody? Because
Monmouth Roseville 14, Stillman Valley 0.
I think a lot of folks would consider that one an upset.
It is. And Dave was telling me via text here that Hall is actually moving the ball really nicely. They're coming out swinging down there in Springfield.
What a great job by Coach Randy Tiemann.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. What a great guy.
Well, if you want to track Schmitty down, we'll see if we can get some stats on here.
Oh, sure.
As the Tigers lead here at halftime by a score of 35-6, a first half that perhaps one of the big takeaways was the ejection of the coach of Peotone, Apostolos Chamas, as he thought a player went out of bounds and the clock should have been stopped. Got one penalty flag and then another, and he was done for the night. And Schmitty, you're back, and we've got about 2 minutes before we kick things off, so the floor is yours.
Leading the way for Peotone is Kuipers, who is 4 for 7 for 46 yards. So, throwing the ball effectively, it seems like. Leading the way is number 2, David Redi. He's got one catch for 25 yards. for the Blue Devils. Leading the way on the ground, they have a bunch of guys that's running. Number 3 has got the most. It's Chase Rivera, and he's got 27 yards on 7 carries, followed by number 27, Soraka, and he's got 22 yards on 5 carries. They got 8 first downs, 3 by pass, 4 by rush, and 1 by a penalty. Just 3 penalties for 35 yards, but actually 4 penalties because I didn't count that last one for 50 yards, but 3 of them were unsportsmanlike conduct, as you saw at the end of the half. So a pretty clean game for them so far, Norm. For the Tigers, Tegan Davis, he's got 168 yards in the air, and 67 of them to Noah Laporte, 73 of them to Danny Sehaki, and then Brady Byers got a catch for 28 yards. Augie Christensen running the ball effectively, 71 yards on the ground, 40 yards for Tegan, and then Hickey's got 34 yards. The Tigers got 15 first downs, 7 by pass, 8 by rush, 4 penalties for 31 yards, and the scoring drives were as follows, Norm. 8:57 to go in the first quarter. A 25-yard by Augie Christensen. 2-point conversion was no good. 6-0 Tigers. 4:18 to go in the first quarter. A 53-yard pass from Tegan Davis to Danny Sehaki, but the Davis 2-point conversion rush good. 14-0 Tigers. Piper then answers the call for the Blue Devils with a 2-yard run of his own. The extra point kick was blocked. 14-6 Tigers. Davis to Laporte connects for a 14-yard touchdown, but the kick by Benavidez good. 21-6 with 7:35 to go in the second quarter. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. Augie, a 6-yard touchdown run. Kick by Benavidez is good. 28-6, and then 32 seconds to go. It's a 10-yard run. As you see, a squib kick, and the Tigers look like that they have the ball. They recover, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Sorry, Norm.
No, that's perfect.
10-yard run by Tegan Davis. Kick by Benavidez was good to bring your score where it is now, 35-6.
So what a way to start things off. Perfectly executed onside kick by Carlos Benavidez. And the Tigers in great shape as they have it 1st and 10 at the 33 of Peotone. Will the Tigers opt to maybe go for the bomb here and take advantage of this great opportunity right off the bat? Davis back to throw, and he is going deep, and the pass is caught by Noah Laporte. Touchdown from 33 yards out. Noah's second touchdown reception of the game. This one at 11:52 to go in the third period.
Nobody around, as you see the instant replay here, nobody around Laporte. It was a blown coverage, and Tegan just had all day to throw. Threw a perfectly ball to a 33-yard bomb to Noah Laporte. Noah's shaking his head like, nobody's guarding me, coach, and he's right. 33-yard touchdown pass later, and the extra point kick is good after he does the two-step there.
Yeah, a little bit of a problem with the snap and the hold, but wow, what a testament to the ability of Carlos Benavidez to be able to change gears, drop anchor, and then run up and kick it through anyway. And the Tiger lead is now 42-6. Well, you talk about that drive, Schmitty. We're talking about one play.
Yeah, one play, 33 yards, and 8 seconds later, and Tegan Davis is on fire right now. So is Noah Laporte. It's just it's a great connection to see. You can see that connection. You know, it all started in that Mendota game. Is when Noah Laporte got started, and you know after that game, it's been Noah Laporte's show week in week out in the receiving, in the wide receiver role. That's for sure.
And bear in mind, only a sophomore.
Thank you.
Brody is scanning for some score updates.
Yeah, Norm, so just a couple here. Monmouth Roseville's increased their lead 20-8 over Stillman Valley. Prairie Central 14, Paxton Buckley Lodi 6, Byron 20, Leslie 0, and Ottawa 0, Momet Seymour 7. Back to you.
All right, and this is Rivera on the return, a decent return for the Blue Devils as he gets it out to close to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I do have a score on the Sacred Heart Griffin score. It's 6-0 Sacred Heart Griffin. That's early on in the contest. I'm sure the score has changed since then, Brody, but that's the scoring update I have so far. Noah Laporte at 100 yards receiving so far for the night.
So obviously a huge drive for the Blue Devils. They want to get something started here in the beginning of the third quarter, and Kuipers is not under center. You might recall that he was hit hard at the end of the half. So the Blue Devils, as you might suspect, keep it on the ground. That's Soroka with a gain of about 5. He was really hit hard there. Bring up 2nd down and 4 from the 40 of Peotone. Tigers led 35-6 at halftime. A quick strike. Tegan Davis to Noah Laporte has put the Tigers up 42-6. Now the Tigers all over this running play, as among those in there was Carson Etheridge to limit that to a loss.
Bennett Williams is the one that made that play go, and he came through the line like crazy, man, and made an unbelievable tackle. Great job by Bennett.
Well, the thing of it is, too, Schmitty, I mean, Peotone came into this where passing was you might say, a seldom thing, and you've got to believe with their starting quarterback out, it'll probably be less yet. Certainly a passing situation here. Penalty flag comes out.
Yeah, the right tackle moved. He knew it. He came up and started backing up, then tried to get back, and the coach says, like, hey, watch it, and both flags popped out. So legal procedure on the Blue Devils.
Brody reported Monmouth-Roseville beating Stillman Valley.
20-15 is what I have in front of me. Also, I have another score I just got texted me. Rova 14 over Stark County 0.
All right, thank you for that.
Yeah, regardless of the Monmouth-Roseville-Stillman Valley outcome, Monmouth-Roseville putting up a fight against Stillman Valley. I think Stillman Valley is probably heavily favored there.
I would think so as well. So 3rd down and 10 from the 34 of Peotone. Ruben Velasco in at quarterback, lets it fly, and this one is a jump ball situation. Tipped away by Noah Laporte. It'll be incomplete.
Yeah, Byers did a nice job just knocking the ball away.
All right, so Brady Byers actually tipping it away. We had 1 and 11 on the coverage, along with Danny Sy Hockey. And a penalty being called.
Yeah, it's a roughing the passer penalty on the Tigers, and that's going to give a 1st down to the Blue Devils. We just got to be smarter than that. That's a play that just can't happen. We got them right where we want them. We can get them off the field, and we just make a dumb play like that.
Coach Pearson asking for an explanation, but he saw the zero tolerance of these officials. He didn't carry it any further than that, and probably a wise move. 1st and 10 at midfield for Peotone. Soroka on the carry, gets to the outside and maybe a yard on the gain. Ace Christensen in on the tackle.
Yeah, you can kind of see just with the snap of the new quarterback, he just doesn't have the timing, and that's not Velasco's fault. I mean, he probably was the last one to expect to get in this game.
Sure.
But you can just see the timing's a little off right now with the new quarterback in, being just a sophomore, probably intimidated a little bit, seeing what was going on that first half. So, he just wants to get settled in right now.
We certainly wish James Kuipers, the starting quarterback, well. And heavy pressure being put on by the Tigers, and this pass is intercepted by Tegan Davis, and Davis tackled at about the 36-yard line of Peotone.
Yeah, if Tegan didn't get tripped up by his own teammate, Ace Christensen, he probably takes it to the house, as you see him get tripped up and couldn't get his feet going. Nonetheless, Tegan with an interception on the play.
Tigers lead by 36, 42-6. So chance to put this into a running clock situation. Last time the Tigers had a turnover, they went for the big play for the bomb. We'll see if they do it again.
Well, they got that same formation, Norm. They got no safety over to help anybody out. It's man against man. I'd like my likings with Noah Laporte.
Davis back to throw. He's looking and has a man. That's Augie Christensen. And Christensen, very fast, gets down to about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, that's a gain of 15 on the play. Teagan already up to 216 yards in the air and finds his buddy Augie for the first time for 15 yards. That's another first down for the Tigers.
This time 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Augie Christensen next to Teagan. Teagan back to throw, and the pass is complete to Noah Laporte. Gets a block from Andrew Peacock, and this is going to be a touchdown. Touchdown Princeton Tigers from 23 yards out. Noah Laporte's third of the night with 8:54 to go in the third period.
Yeah, Noah Laporte, just a man-child. But let's watch the replay. As you see Peacock, number 4, springing him loose as he actually blocks number 7, Aneye, and does a nice job of getting in front of him. Noah Laporte busts it to the outside, carries his defender into the end zone for a 23-yard scamper.
And for Teagan, his third touchdown pass of the night. And Carlos Benavidez is perfect on kicks. He is 5 out of 5. Tiger lead is 49-6, and the rest of this game is going to go by pretty quickly with the running clock as we go to Brody for score updates.
You know, Norm, it's a little bit like a track horse over here. Just all these scores just keep rolling in here. So Highland is over Dunlap 21-0. Moline is over DeKalb 14-6. Ottawa's losing 10-0 against Wilmette. Morris is beating LP 14-0. Sacred Heart Griffin is beating Hall 27-0. Byron's over Lyle 20-0. And finally, the Rochelle Hubs are beating the Dixon Dukes 14-6. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Brody. What was that Ottawa Muhammad Seymour score?
10-0, Wilmette.
Okay, so Carlos Benavidez set to kick off. As we mentioned, should be running clock the rest of the way. A deep kick by Benavidez. And it's going to be a touchback. Great job by Carlos Benavidez.
Almost a perfect job, as that ball almost died there by the 1-yard line, just trickled in the end zone. He's got that touch, doesn't he, Norm?
Oh, he does. Our WAJK radio announce team, Brandon Lachance and Jeremy Reed, who've done a great job this year, they refer to Carlos Benavidez as their guy. And by the way, the Tigers should be, or we're thinking they'll be at home next Saturday, but if the Tigers have to go on the road, you can catch the game on 99.3 WAJK with Brandon Lachance and Jeremy Reed, and we certainly appreciate their coverage of Tiger football. Ruben Velasco in at quarterback. He's come on in relief of James Kuipers, who was hurt at the end of the first half. And keeping it on the ground are the Blue Devils. And a good gain.
27, Soroka.
It's Soroka on the carry.
Yeah, you see a lot of the second string Tiger defenders in there right now. Not trying to get anybody hurt at all, so pulled all the starters out. But it's good experience for these guys in a playoff atmosphere. You see guys like Jay Stuckey and Grady Cox up front. Just good experience for these guys.
Second down and 4. And this time, this play's not going to go for much. Casey Etheridge on the tackle?
Yeah, Casey Etheridge did a nice job of staying home there, Norm. That's what you got to do on a counter action like that. Quick reverse. He stayed home, didn't overflow, over-pursue, stayed home, made a great tackle to bring it down 3rd down and 2 for the Blue Devils.
Tigers leading 49-6. Running clock situation. As Schmitty mentioned, the defense is pretty well substituted out here, but second string doing a nice job. Can they limit Peotone on this play? Looks like they stopped him short of the first down.
As you see, number 28, Preston Arkles there with the stop. Brings it down to a 4th down and short situation, and Peotone's going to go for it. They had nothing to lose.
So 4th and looks like less than a yard at the 29. Quarterback sneak, perhaps. We'll see. Run right up the middle, and this is going to be enough for the first down. Dawson Piper getting the first down and a little bit more.
I mean, with this offense, Norman, a running clock, I mean, they say stay in a long drive. It might take up both quarters.
Excellent point. More truth and fiction to that. As we dip down to 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Velasco looking to throw, fires long. He's got a man open, and the pass is complete. Hauling that one in was David Redi, and Redi gets it to the 43-yard line of Princeton.
As you see, Velasco there to back the pass in the instant replay did a nice job of getting it completed past the Redi, who's got 2 catches for 49 yards now.
And second stringer not Schmitty. I can't help but think that Tiger coaching staff probably not. You're never too happy when that receiver gets behind you.
No, they're taught to keep everybody in front of them. I'm sure somebody got a lecture there on the sidelines.
So 1st and 10 for Peotone at the Princeton 43. Handoff goes up the middle, good yardage, close to a first down. Was that Soroka on the carry?
I believe it was number 3 on the Rivera.
Rivera on the carry, very good. So he picks up 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. As Schmitty has mentioned, Tiger defense, pretty well all substitutes at this point, putting up a good fight against this Peotone Blue Devils offensive squad. 2nd and short. And this is going to be a good gain for Soroka. He's still on his feet. Strong runner is Soroka. And he gets down close to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that's a gain of 19 on the play for another first down for the Blue Devils. As Arthur Burton came through, he's a blitz in the linebacker position, just got his hand on him. Couldn't quite make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Soroka once again off right tackle, and Soroka is going to score from 17 yards out. Dylan Soroka, a 17-yard run for Peotone with 3:50 to go in the third period.
Yeah, Soroka does a nice job of cutting back, making some cuts, and that's what happens when you over pursue. You got those cut lanes wide open. If you just stay home and do your job, those cut lanes aren't as wide open.
So Dawson Piper has scored a touchdown tonight for Peotone, and just now Dylan Soroka. And a timeout being taken by the Peotone Blue Devils, and that gives us time to check in with Brody Anderson.
Thanks, Norm. Whole bunch of scores are rolling in right now, including probably one of the big upsets, big game changers right now. Monmouth Roseville now has fallen behind Stillman Valley 21-0. Byron over Lisle 28-0. Sacred Heart 34, Hall 0. Seneca Irish are on the board against Winnebago 7-0. Prairie Central, Paxton Buckley Loda 27-6 rather. Moline 14, DeKalb 13, and Highland over Dunlap 21-0. Exciting times in football tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, so Monmouth Roseville, after having that early lead, Schmitty, they've seen that go away.
Yeah, I kind of predicted that would happen after that. I also predicted the Hall after the 6-0. You know, my brothers text me like they're holding their own. I'm like, yeah, you just wait.
All right, so as you might suspect, the Blue Devils going for 2.
Oh, and they give it to a big lineman, and there is no stopping this man. Let's get a name on him. Austin Amiskane. 5'11", 240, and a senior.
Peotone just having a little fun. Giving it to the big guy. To senior deserves it probably. It looks like that young fella's gassed after that 2-yard run. He's like, I don't know if I can do that again, Coach.
All right, we'll go back to Brody. Brody, even if you had to repeat what you had before, we're all ears.
Sure. So, like I said earlier, Monmouth Roseville has now fallen behind Stillman Valley 21-20. The Seneca Irish are playing at Winnebago tonight, and they're ahead 7-0. Moline Maroons 14, DeKalb 13, and Highland 21, Dunlap 0. I'm awaiting another score update here momentarily from the LP game, so we'll circle back to that here in a second. But back to you guys.
All right, 49-14. In favor of the Tigers, and of course, Schmitty, the running clock, when the other team gets to within 40, it makes no difference.
Correct, Norma. The running clock will still be going. Everybody will still get home quite early tonight, and be ready to see who we're going to play next after tomorrow's contest.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be, Elmwood, Brimfield, and
Genoa Kingston.
Genoa Kingston, yes. And Genoa Kingston, the favorite in most circles in that one. And a good return by the Tigers. In fact, this should be a touchdown. Ace Christensen. All the way. Oh, my goodness. What are we going to give him on that, Schmitty? About 85?
I think 75 yards. You think he caught about the 25?
All right, sounds good. Ace Christensen, 75-yard touchdown run with 3:38 to go in the third quarter.
He got through that first team of defenders, and he just outran everybody else on that. You saw the replay there that the guys on the sidelines were just as excited for Ace as Ace was probably. They were running down with him.
Great kid, 5'6", 140-pound sophomore. Outstanding catcher in baseball, I might add, too. As Benavidez's kick, absolutely perfect. And the Tiger lead increases to 56-14.
Must have been that pregame speech I gave to Ace earlier when I saw him. That's what it was. I'll attribute to that. I'll let him know that, too. Good job,
no
Ace.
doubt. No doubt at all. Norm, I just had another update just come through. Our old friends, IC Catholic 42, Chicago King 0, and this is starting the second.
Wow. Talk about running clock. I don't think the running clock can actually go into effect till after halftime, right?
That's correct, yep.
Of course, there was a time Chicago King under the legendary coach Landon Sonny Cox. Boy, they had some great basketball teams there. Although, and I say this in the highest complimentary sense, the Princeton Tigers in tournament action at LaSalle, Peru a few years ago, under the leadership of Michael Fredericks, didn't get nearly enough publicity. The Tigers beat Chicago King, a great win in the history of Tiger basketball. All right, well, Carlos Benavidez is getting a lot of exercise, and he kicks off once again and fielded at about the 14-yard line, and this is Rivera on the return, still on his feet. Finally brought down at about the 25-yard line as a penalty flag comes in late.
Gavin Lanham on the tackle. There's a flag on the play.
Always curious when the penalty flag comes in late like this. Makes you wonder if there's some unsportsmanlike conduct. Yes, and it's against the Tigers for a face mask.
I'll do the first drive. see if you pick up anything.
So that's the Tigers' 6th penalty for 61 yards.
If you pick up anything maybe you like, or if you why'd you do that?
Under 3 minutes to go, third period. Princeton leading 56-14 over the Peotone Blue Devils. Rivera on the carry, good for about 5 yards, and we'll try to get that tackler for you.
I think it's 28. Was it Arkles again? Preston Arkles, yep.
So he has performed admirably tonight. Who will the Tigers play next? Well, we touched on it. Elmwood Brimfield playing Genoa Kingston tomorrow. And the winner of that game will be the Tigers' opponent.
If Genoa Kingston wins, the Tigers will play another home game. If Elmwood Brimfield wins, the Tigers will be on the road.
And Soroka getting big yardage. Soroka inside the 40-yard line.
Here's the replay. As you see a shifty Soroka there, he just dives his way through for a 16-yard scamper. I'm going to guess that second year or not, Coach Pearson's not happy with how they're performing right now.
Down to 1:20 to go in the third period. Velasco heaves it deep, and the pass is, do we have a catch? Hauled in there by Redi. David Redi, a 6'1", 205-pound senior with a nice catch. As the clock dips under 1 minute to go in the third period. So Schmitty, Velasco coming in kind of emergency duty here has performed admirably.
He has, Norm, but he hasn't faced the Tigers defense like we know the Tigers defense.
Right. 1st and 10 at the 13. Dawson Piper straight ahead. He'll get down to around the 5.
As you see Piper running off tackle there. Good seal. Peacock there with William Lott with the tackle there. And that'll be all she does it for this third quarter.
So the third quarter does come to a close, and Princeton leading 56-14 over Peotone. We'll go to Brody for some scores.
Yeah, Norm. So we have Rochelle has increased their lead over the Dixon Dukes 14-12. Highland has increased their lead over Dunlap 28-0. Ottawa doesn't have a score on the board, 0-17 against Moment Seymour. Rova has increased their lead over Stark County 21-0. And lastly, as promised, the update from the LP game, Morris 21, LP 0. Back to you guys.
All right, so pretty much things going the way you would think they would. Appreciate Brody getting us those updates.
As you hear jump around, and kids on the sidelines are jumping around, trying to get the student section to jump around. Looks like to me, playing back and forth the student section. I guess you can do that when you're up 56-14, Norm.
Oh yeah, getting a little chilly, and it's one way to warm up a touch.
You ever jumped around, Norm?
Oh gosh.
Didn't think I was going to ask you that, did you?
My knees would just fall apart.
How good's your health insurance, Norm?
All right, so Peotone knocking on touchdown's door. Can they get it in? No signal. Piper on the carry. And apparently stopped short.
Number 5, Dawson Piper. Tackle made by number 78, Grady Cox.
It's enough for a first down, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
As this cooler weather settles in, it reminds me that we're not that far away from the Princeton girls basketball tournament to begin the season under the leadership of Darcy Kepner. I believe that tournament begins on the 14th of November, so a little better than 2 weeks away. Velasco under center. And once again, the Tiger defense, do they stop the man short? It's Esteban Anaya, who we saw have a nice kickoff return earlier. And he is cut down short. Second and goal from the 1. So the second string defense coming through nicely in this goal line situation. This is Piper, and Piper powering his way forward, but still comes up short. Wow.
Yeah, and the Tigers doing a nice job of just showing some pride, Norm, not giving up that touchdown so easy. You know, it's first and goal at the 1 yard line. You think the next play they're going to score. Well, it's third down and goal now.
You suppose Payne Miller's over there? Put me in, Coach Pearson. I just want to grab somebody when they come through the middle of that line.
I think you're probably right.
Third and goal from the 1. Still haven't seen a quarterback sneak. Will we this time? Yes, we will. And Velasco, is he in? Yes, he is. So the quarterback sneak works this time for Peotone with 9:56 to go in the game. It is the reserve quarterback, Ruben Velasco, from 1 yard out.
Looks like they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here.
Yeah, we haven't seen him try a kick all night long. Granted, this is only their third touchdown of the night. And Velasco goes under center. Anya goes off left tackle, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. Makes it 56-16 in favor of Princeton. And we'll go to Brody for more score updates.
All right, Norm. Hey, I kind of wish we had a live stream going in the booth right now of the Rochelle-Dixon game. That's turned into something really good. Dixon's taking the lead back, 20-14 over Rochelle. Moment Seymour has further increased their lead over the Ottawa Pirates, 24-0. Prairie Central, 27. Paxton Buckley Lodi, 12. They're starting to come back a little bit. And lastly, Normal Community, 23. Hanoian, 7. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Brody, for those updates.
Norm, one more for you that I just literally got texted as you were going for your notes. Monmouth Roseville 20, Stillman Valley has increased their lead 29.
All right, so Monmouth Roseville, after getting off to a good start, falling behind to Stillman Valley. Onside kick, and the Tigers, good job as they're able to recover it. Let's see if we can get a number there, Schmitty.
That's Preston Arkles, number 28, I believe.
Wow, what a great job he has done tonight. .9:35 to go in the game. Clock running. Tigers leading 56-16. Tigers keep it on the ground, and Etheridge on the carry. He's not going to get much.
Number 30,
maybe a
Casey
yard.
Etheridge on the carry for the Tigers.
Yeah, Casey Etheridge there. He's a freshman, getting some playoff experience with the 2-yard gain.
Janjanin on the tackle.
Tigers having a great night tonight. Noah Laporte has caught 3 touchdown passes from Tegan Davis. Also seen Ace Christensen take a kickoff to the house. Augie Christensen with a couple of touchdowns for the Tigers tonight. And this running play for Princeton is going to be stopped for a loss.
He's going to lose his yardage again and then some.
And in fairness to Casey, he really didn't have much of a chance. They were all over him as soon as he got the ball.
While we're waiting for the play here, Norm, Sacred Heart has increased their lead over Hall 41-0.
So that one going pretty much as expected. Lott with it, and he's going to go around right in. Nice run by William Lott. He'll be short of the first down, but still a play that was a broken play, winds up being about a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Yeah, he made something into nothing there, and that's a nice job by William Lott right there. As you see the student section of the Tiger crazies there and the fans going wild.
They're having a great time and anticipating even more fun as this playoff road continues.
That's one of the big things about the postseason play in high school sports. You get to see, students like that. They come together and, they dress up. Tonight obviously is Tiger Blue Night or whatever, but they have different themes every night, and it's good to see them getting involved in the game in that way.
Timeout is taken by Princeton, and with that timeout, we'll go to Brody for playoff scores.
Yeah, just two more that just came across here. Byron has increased their lead over Lisle 42-0, and Highland is also winning in a blowout over Dunlap 35-0. Back to you guys.
And Dunlap, they're no slouch, but you got to wonder that 300-plus mile bus ride, pretty tough to overcome.
Norm, they're the Eagles, so it really exhausted them flying down there,
Good point.
It's a lot of bad material up here in the booth.
Sometimes you just shake your head and go on, Norm. Sometimes you have to do that.
Dunlap is a school, and no kidding aside, that has just grown like you wouldn't believe, though. I think it's around 1,500 students, and you wouldn't have to go back all that many years, and it was about a third that size. Tigers keep it on the ground with Casey Etheridge. It's going to be short of the first down, and Peotone will take over on downs.
There is a flag down, but I guess it's against the Tigers. They're going to decline it.
So we'll get down to near the 6-minute mark by the time this next play is snapped. Again, Peotone, their starting quarterback, James Kuipers, hurt on the last play of the first half. And Ruben Velasco, who's done a nice job in relief, still in at quarterback. Velasco, 6-footer, 155, and a sophomore. Velasco looks to throw, fires it long. He's got a man open, but it's underthrown a touch, and it is intercepted.
Caden Gibson there with the interception.
Wow, what a great thing for him. Caden Gibson listed at 5'5" and a sophomore.
He's just a little guy, but he plays a lot bigger than what he looks. Hey, so just a quick note, Velasco is actually 4 for 4, Norm. He's 2 for 2 against our team and 2 for 2 for his team.
That ball never hits the ground.
Nope. As you see the PHS prep band playing, they always do a great job night in and night out, don't they, Norm?
Oh, without a doubt.
Outstanding for sure.
So the Tigers at this point just trying to make some positive yards, hang on to the football, and hopefully run out the clock. And with this 56-16 score, You can see William Lott looking at the back judge. The 5 count is on. And Common Green
Number 36,
on the carry.
Common Green on the carry for the Tigers.
Stopped at about the line of scrimmage.
Stoltman on the tackle.
Nothing like playoff atmosphere, Norm. I mean, under the lights, it's opening round, beautiful night out. You hear the pads a popping. Just a great night, great atmosphere to be involved in, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. And these games, as we go down the tournament trail, will become closer. They're not all going to be blowouts, that's for sure. Tigers right up the middle for short yardage. Try to get the ball carrier for you once that pile.
That's Eli Berlin with the carry there, Norm, and he gained about a 5-yard gain on the play.
Eli 5'9", 180, and a freshman. Clock nearing the 3-minute mark to go in the game.
Am I live right now?
Handoff goes right up the middle, and you can see Peotone there to stop that play immediately.
Doing a passing play.
Yeah, so, I mean, the score is 56-22, but the score was never that close, Norm. I mean, Tigers dominated for the first 2 quarters and partial of a third, you know?
Yeah, Tigers led 35-6 at halftime, and then 2 pretty quick touchdowns within about inside of 4 minutes. Noah Laporte with 2 long touchdown passes from Tegan Davis. That made it 49-6 and brought about the running clock situation. William Lott back to punt. Whistle, and we'll see what this is about.
Coach Pearson
Timeout.
is not happy. He's going to get his point across right now, and then he's going to send him back out to the football and say, go punt the ball, fellas. That's pretty much the talk in a nutshell.
Well, and not for a punting play, obviously, but I'm sure as a coach, you've been there, that reserves or not, you have certain expectations. And
yeah, that's where you are as a coach. You just want to say, hey, you know, I don't care if you're the reserves now. You got to be paying attention, know your spot, know where you're supposed to be in certain situations.
All right, Brody, go ahead.
Yeah, Norm. So in the back-and-back battle up in Dixon, Rochelle has taken back the lead over Dixon 22-0. Morris 21. LP is now on the board with 3. Highland 43, Dunlap 0, Sacred Heart 48, Hall 0, and Seneca is now falling behind Winnebago 21-7. Back to you guys.
Wow, that last score is eye-opening. Seneca came in 9-0, and they're trailing. Thank you, Brody.
Hey, we just got a shout-out that said we're better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I don't know about that. But
whoever that was, though, thank you for the kind words. But, you know, Schmitty, you and I really appreciate the opportunity we have and, you know, having Brody alongside. But Steve Morton, our producer-director, he's the one at the wheel. And what a phenomenal job with the likes of him and Steve Gray. Of course, we've got Cail Arnett here from Marquee Sports, Austin Gordon and Cail Piper, our student helpers.
yeah, this is a high school broadcast that's a phenomenal broadcast. I mean, it's high quality stuff.
Esteban Anaya with the run. He had a big kickoff return earlier, picks up about 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, brought down by Ethan Wallace with the tackle, so nice job by Ethan. He's a senior.
And we haven't said this yet tonight, though we could have about others, but Ethan Wallace, a former Malden Musketeer.
Couldn't go all night without saying that, could you, Norm?
Fight, fight, fight for the red and the white.
Thanks for that, Norm.
And look at big yardage on this play for Peotone. In fact, This is going to go for a touchdown. Dylan Soroka. 53 yards on the carry. That's his second touchdown of the night, and it comes with 34 seconds to go.
I mean, he's got 130 yards there. As you see a replay here, Soroka gets on the outside. They faked the reverse handoff. He just kept it and ran to the outside. 130 yards on the night for him with 2 touchdowns. But let's not forget, I mean, the true story is he probably was held about 35 yards. He just got a lot of yards after the 40-point rule went in effect.
Right. I mean, people are going to look at this in the paper from around the state and think, well, Princeton didn't really win that big. But it's like you say, a lot of this Peotone yardage and scoring has come pretty much after the game was already decided. All right, they have a big lineman in there to perhaps try it again. This time it's Ryland Hart. And Hart, does he make it? He does not. So Hart, a 6'2", 265-pounder, is kept out of the end zone on the 2-point conversion. Go ahead, Brody.
Just one more score update that just came through. In 3A ball, we haven't reported this game all night yet, but Eureka 0, Beardstown 6.
Interesting. The Hornets usually a team that you might think would win that game. So we have had a few surprises tonight.
We'll see where the chips lie tomorrow morning.
(56-28) is the Tiger lead. Tigers awaiting the winner of tomorrow's game, Genoa Kingston and Elmwood Brimfield. Tigers should be able to receive this kick and then take a knee and call it a night.
I don't even think they have to take a knee. I think they just recover it, fall down on it, and it's done.
Yeah, the referees, you're right, with the running clock,
yeah,
they probably don't even have to run a play. So here we go. Tigers have possession. Tackle made at about the 32-yard line. I think you're exactly right, Schmitty, although there goes the clock. Yeah, they don't have to run a play. The Tigers are heading to their sideline. Peotone heading to their sideline as well. And it's in the books. The Princeton Tigers with an opening round playoff win, 56-28 over the Peotone Blue Devils. Schmitty, you want to give us a recap here of the scoring and give us what stats you have handy there?
Yeah, so Tegan Davis leading the way in the air for the Tigers, 11 for 14, 239 yards with 4 touchdowns. 3 of them to Noah Laporte, who was 6 catches for 123 yards and 3 touchdowns. One of them being the Danny Sehaki, who had 3 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. Brady Byers had a catch for 28 yards, and Augie Christensen had 1 catch for 15 yards. On the ground, not as many yards as we thought we would see tonight because we had so much passing offense tonight. But Augie Christensen had 9 carries for 71 yards with 2 touchdowns. Tegan Davis had 5 carries for 40 yards, and C.J. Hickey had 4 carries for 34 yards. Tigers had 6 penalties for 61 yards, and they ended up with 18 first downs for the night. Scoring drives as follows. 8:57 to go in the first quarter. A 25-yard by Augie Christensen. The 2-point conversion was no good to bring the score 6-0 Tigers. 4:18 to go in the first quarter. 53-yard pass from Davis to Sehaki. 2-point conversion was good by Teagan. It's 14-0 Tigers. 10:02 Piper with the 2-yard run. PAT was blocked. 14-6 Tigers. 7:35 to go in the second quarter. Davis to Laporte for a 14-yard pass. Play for Benavidez's kick was good to bring it 21-6. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. Augie Christensen with a 6-yard touchdown run. The kick by Benavidez was good, 28-6. 32 seconds to go. They scored right before the half with a 10-yard run by Teagan Davis. The kick was good, 35-6 Tigers. Open up, 33-yard pass from Laporte from Davis to Laporte with 11:52 to go in the third quarter. The kick was good to bring the score 42-6, and then a 23-yard pass with 8:54 to go in the third quarter to bring the running clock from Davis to Laporte. Benavidez's kick was good, 49-6 Tigers. And then he had a 17-yard run by number 27 Soroka with a 2-point conversion good, 49-14. Then a 75-yard kickoff return by Ace Christensen with the Benavidez kick good, 56-14. Run yard run by the quarterback, number 44, the backup QB, Velasco. The 2-point conversion was good by number 7, and they 56-22. And then it was a 53-yard run by Soroka again, and the 2-point conversion was no good to bring the score in the final 56-28. Just to cap my thoughts, I thought it was a good opening first round for the Tigers. They seem to be clicking on all cylinders, and then their offense, I felt like their offense played really well tonight. Picked up their defense, which the defense only gave up, their first string only gave up 6 points, but we saw the defense giving up, bending but not breaking. But they did a nice job doing what they had to do, winning on their home field. Hopefully we get a round 2 matchup at home next week.
And I would say, too, Schmitty, I know we mentioned a lot of Peotone's points came when the game was over with, but, kudos to them. 5-4, you make the playoffs, you come out here, you play hard. That's all you can do. And now let's go to Brody for some playoff scores.
Yeah, so I'm going to run through what I have for playoff scores before we go off the air for this evening. So I have Eureka 0, Beardstown 6, Icy Catholic 42, Chicago King 0, Stillman Valley 29, Monmouth Roseville 20, Seneca 7, Winnebago 21, Byron 42, Lyle 0, Prairie Central 27, Paxton Buxley Lodi 12, Morris 21 over LP3, Sacred Heart Griffin dominating Hall 48-0, Byron 42, Lyle 0, Highland 43, Dunlap 0, Rochelle 22, Dixon 20, Rova over Stark 21-0, Ottawa 0, Momet 32, and lastly Moline Maroons 14 over DeKalb 13. That game is at halftime. Back to you, Norm.
Okay, so great job by Brody as usual. As Schmitty said, we're hopeful to be with you next Saturday afternoon as Schmitty's leaving the booth. Great job as always, Schmitty. Great job by all our crew, Steve Morton, Steve Gray, Cail Arnett on hand from Marquee Sports, also Austin Gordon and Cail Piper. Fantastic job. So the final score, once again, Princeton wins 56-28 over Peotone. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night, everybody.